Hello, everyone, and welcome to Play Dicely After Party! Whoop, 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 whoop. My name is Christy Clow, and this is the Talkback Show where myself, my wonderful castmates, and our fabulous DM talk about our adventures on Play Dicely, which is our D&D actual play show that airs live here on Twitch some Sundays.
Every once in a while.
You know, especially the summer, we'll let you know. Join our Discord, and then that's how you'll know when it's happening. Woo. Keep it spicy. Quick shout out to Tim from Tabletop Audio for the music that you will be hearing if you're listening to the VOD right now on the Play Dicely YouTube channel. And hey, while you're there, give us a quick subscribe, because YouTube just changed a bunch of things. And hey, if we could get to 500 subscribers in the next week, that would be that would be incredible. Has it been a minute?
That would be incredible.
That would be a literal miracle.
Hey, we are discussing episodes 50 and 51. Something romantic and mind for murder. Episodes that maybe kind of were very different thematically for some reason. Guess we'll find out. So the beginning of
just deep silence and a heavy sigh. Yes, that is a summary of these last two episodes.
Oh, okay.
Exactly how I feel all the time.
Well, I'm excited to talk about the first episode, but I might have to step out for the next one, so we'll see when we get there. So episode 50, something romantic. Yay! Honestly, the first bullet point really leads into the next episode because it's we hire Mikolek Dolan?
Mikolek Dolan, yeah.
Dolan, to be the major domo for our keep. And who is this, you might ask? Well, he's a silver dragonborn that we encountered at the bid. And guess who was at the bid? Our Drac Mythilco. But, you know, we don't know anything about that being relevant yet.
Not yet.
So... we did insight check him, and he seemed trustworthy, but in retrospect, it seems like maybe this was not the wisest choice. I don't have any questions about this. I'm just...
Yeah.
So
I mean, like, even though Anthony's gotten into the kick of having me roll his insight checks for him, the fact that Drac has such a high insight should kind of give you, I would hope, a little bit of faith.
Well, no, see, the problem is now, though, that even if he is a brain-depleted creature, he's acting like himself. Like, I don't know that we would pick up on it on an insight check, right?
Well,
that is the whole damn thing.
That is going to become more relevant when we talk about the next session,
Okay.
due to revelations that come up. But even on that thread, I mean, like, if his intentions were bad, and he wanted to be hired, he was honest in that he wanted to repay you guys for saving his life, which was honest, at least based on that check that you're aware of.
I'm not worried about him, gang. I think he's
No,
fine.
I think we can't be. Truly, if we just become worried about everyone, I will die. So we just have to believe in
That's player growth, Dallas.
Whoa, it truly is, yeah. We've really been running the gamut of, like, we don't trust people, we do trust them, but, like, now I feel like before, like, we had kind of like a maybe of why we shouldn't trust some people, but, like, not like anything tangible. But now it's really like feels like there's something a little bit more tangible that we know about that makes me just want to die.
No, I hear you.
You know, I'm just very casually opening up Twitch because I realized I never opened it, so forgive me for that. Anyways, boop. Great. What else happened? Oh yeah, so all of that aside, I enlist everyone's help to prep for my date. Feels like a million years ago that this date happened now, but hey. So yes, got everyone on board because I just thought it was more fun that way. Got no real questions here except Dallas. You mentioned in the recap that you were going to try and be like all grumpy during this part, but I was so charming and cute.
You're so cute
during it that you had a hard time, which
I know. I was
Understandable.
rewatching that section and I was trying to be grumpy and I just kept laughing. So I was like, well, impossible. It's too cute.
Thank you so much for that compliment that definitely I wasn't fishing for. But in all honesty though, like how did Elowen actually feel about being enlisted to participate in this
Grumpy?
date? Well, because like we have had that conversation in character before, but I think like the way it ended was like you would have felt worse if I changed anything because of like that. So
Yeah, I mean, look, Elowen wants you to be happy. Is she gonna sit there and be a grumpy, jealous bitch while you're doing it? Yeah, she probably will be, but I do want you to be happy.
I love that. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's funny to think about it. Like, it makes a lot of sense to me, like, why that would be the case. But it's also funny to think about it just in terms of the age difference of you being, like, 300 and just, like, so grumpy towards this, in your eyes, child. Be like, ugh.
Yeah. No, it doesn't escape me. Yeah.
I like it, though. So, fantastic. Ooh, I'm gonna blitz through this thing, apparently.
It's like nothing in this episode fucking matters. What comes next?
It mattered to me.
That's true. That's true. There is a whole section at the end that matters. I just, in my brain, everything is what comes next.
Should we do it in reverse order?
No.
Yeah.
No.
We got your Tyrone time in.
Tyrone time.
That's true. And that's always important.
It's always important.
Adam, of course, is not here. Classic. But he spent some time with the shield and banner that he found in his room. And this question can actually go to Teni anyways. Were these actual items that were from the previous campaign that he would have been aware of? Or was that just something that you guys like came up with together?
This was something we collaborated on. I was like, you having been a legendary hero, what might you have had with you in your adventures? Like, I kind of wanted to give him some legacy items for a character he's never played before. And so, yeah, I really love what he did, because, like, he told me what he wanted, but, like, I left him to do, like, the visual of it. We kind of designed what they do, which hasn't come up yet in stream. But, yeah, no, he created some wonderfully aesthetic designs for these things, and I'm super excited to eventually draw this new getup that he's created for himself.
Okay, wait. So he has a shield and the banner.
Is a
he
shield
attuned to them both? But I thought the axe that he had was like a two-hander.
It is.
I guess we'll find out next episode how that's going.
Poetry, you gotta choose.
Oh, I have a thought. Oh, that's cool.
And
if that's what I think it is, that'd be dope.
And then of course he also spent the time to enlist oh dear, our Argon folk smith friend from Stephen Tolbrax.
Steven.
Yeah.
From Valenbridge to fashion him some plate mithril.
Oh, big nice.
So like before he had kind of spikes or whatever. Are those gone now? And now it's like more.
Yeah,
subtle?
I believe he described it more as like a Roman centurion, which
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna have to look
I mean,
that kind of style up.
Like the character art that Teni did, like the group piece, kind of reflects that Roman style. Like the shoulder pads.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's so like before it was kind of his second stage of armor was more inspired by a mixture of like samurai armor and also Nordic armor from like styled from the God of War Ragnarok game. So we kind of did a blend of those styles, and so we're getting rid of some of that silhouette, I guess, in for more of a sleek kind of traditional armor.
Have an armored dress? Armored kilt, even?
He had a skirt with the last design. I don't know if he wants that again, but he and I will discuss what this thing fully looks like.
Well, I cannot wait to see what everything does in this next fight. Anyway, we continue our various downtime activities. I didn't write what any of them were down, so I'm assuming they weren't that important. Other than Elwyn's, because I felt like that actually had kind of like stuff that happened with it.
Wow.
Obviously, I'm getting to some other of the bigger stuff, but like just whatever, therapy and all that. Anyway, so Elwyn meets with Falloon a few times, and you also meet his partner, which super cute. Which I wrote down that his name was Alwyn, and I'm like, that can't be right.
Alwyn. Alwin.
Okay.
Well, my name is all I'm saying.
Yeah, because the way I wrote it down, it definitely was very much like your name. I'm like, surely not. That's true. Can't be it. But yeah, so Elwyn is clearly making an effort.
Didn't even connect that those two sounded the same.
As soon as you said it, I was like, okay, weird. I'm your aunt. It's fine.
I honestly, like, I've got like a list of NPC names. I looked, scratched it off, and went, this is his name. That's the one I chose.
Yeah.
Pulling from elf name generators. I get it.
Yeah.
They all
Works.
end in W-I-N.
Yeah. But yeah, Elwyn is clearly making an effort to connect with Falloon more, even though it does not come naturally to her. And you also received the news that Allura is it Allura?
Allura.
Is visiting Rollbar next month.
Which is now the current month in the game.
Oh.
Just so we're all aware.
Do you feel any closer to being able to reconnect with your sister?
I feel like it has to happen.
Well, it's
Am
gonna
I excited
happen.
for it? I don't know. Do I think about it most waking moments nowadays? Yeah, I do. I don't know. I don't know. We're trying.
Yeah. I'm like, I at this point, I don't know what the hell is gonna happen. So I'm like, are we gonna be here for that? We might be dealing with other stuff, but it's just like, what if it
Can only
happens
dream.
earlier? Because now I want to know where. Okay, it's this month that she's coming. I'm just looking at the calendar. Just want to schedule it in just to see if it's.
What a great time.
So, do you think it'd be
Great time for my
easier if
sister to be
Falloon,
here. Yeah.
if Falloon was with you though? Like, if it happened, or would you rather it be just like in the Feywild?
It's bad no matter what, I think.
Okay.
I don't know. Now I feel awkward now that I like made the effort to like get to know her son without like talking to her, you know? It's all a nightmare actually. It's like no part of this ends up good, I don't think.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's comforting necessarily, but I was like, yeah, but you can't do anything worse now, really. So,
Oh, I think I could.
I mean, you could kill him, I guess.
Sure could.
Is that a
I
problem?
It's not in the plans, but sure, I guess I
You
could.
just never know what way life is gonna go, really. But hopefully not. It'd be a little bit out of character, I suppose.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. It's like, it's such a important part of Elwyn's story in my mind. I don't know. Like, family matters so much to her that it's like the stakes to this feel so high that I just like, I'm like, I don't know. It's like if it goes wrong, it's really a problem. So I am nervous about having a conversation with her.
Yeah, I feel that. I'm so curious once it finally happens, then also like what the aftermath of it is like, because it's something you've been like gearing towards for so long.
Mm-hmm.
It's like once that's happened, like is it a relief or is it just like, oh, now what? Guess we'll...
I think if it goes well, it could be a really good thing also, you know?
Mhm.
So it feels like either way it's an extreme, so I stress.
Yeah, speaking of stressful times for Elwyn, you also read a bunch of new stories in the books that
Yeah,
you got,
right.
just
I
kind of
blocked
outlining
this from my brain.
the consequences of, okay, these fire trucks need to relax. The consequences of high level magic like wish spells. Did reading all of those make you feel wary at all, or just did they make Elwyn feel like more determined to figure it
No,
out.
I feel
and cast
great
it.
about it now.
Okay.
No, I'm feeling really happy. I'm super excited.
Oh, good. Fantastic. All right, well, we can move right on then if that's the case.
No, it was really nice to feel like hopeful for Elowen's future for like 40 entire seconds. But here we are again.
Dude, that's like 10 more than 30.
Yeah. Yeah, it was between
Hell
Charity
yeah.
being like, "Hey, like I think you could do this," and then her being like, "Also, I need you to save my entire life," and then learning that in doing so, I can die and things can go wrong, and really good. It's really, really chill.
What's funny about the whole thing, and everybody who's been keeping up with the campaign wouldn't know any of this, but Dallas and I are in another campaign playing with Logan as our DM. And like around the same time, we're dealing with a whole bunch of wish shenanigans. Like Dallas is able to cast it like daily, and
Twice a
I've got a ring of wishes, and I just ended up with the bad result. So
Yeah. So I Dallas know a lot more about how Wish works than I think Elowen does, but I also know that it's not a great time. I know the problems that come with Wish.
But I mean,
The way that I play it in Logan's game is the way that you should play Wish, where you don't ever like do the tricky stuff. You just use it to cast other spells. Because then you're a fucking god. You can do anything. Kill me. I mean, don't kill me, but kill anyone else. I can save them.
and then I used it the way that gets you messed up.
Yeah, you did.
Fantastic. So you got Monkey Pod.
We actually don't know what the result of what you did is.
No, we have still yet to see, because what I wished for, and I worded it poorly because I was panicking, was I wished that our party was immune to the effects of dragon breath.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Logan told me about this.
So we'll see what that means.
And I'm an astral monk. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this thing. And the fact that I did something that wasn't a spell dropped my strength to 3. So basically I'm not even able to carry my own weight anymore. But my astral arms are now what carry me around.
Do you not get your strength back over time?
Oh yes,
For
but
time,
we're
in the middle of the
basically
final battle.
we are in the end game.
Oh.
Oh,
There is no coming back from
I don't
3.
think we're resting.
Well, that's
Nice.
hilarious.
So you do you not know what your wish did?
No.
Oh, Logan told me.
Oh great. Good. Glad to hear it.
You're gonna take all of the damage, but you're
I-
not gonna get any of the status effects.
I'm not telling you.
Yeah, I don't want to
Oh, we
know
already
anything
know.
about it.
Yeah. That's true. I guess your wish took into effect after we all took 80 damage from that dragon
Yeah.
breath.
Yeah, I didn't wish fast enough. But I get the feeling Logan's gonna fuck me.
That seems like something. Logan
Seems like
would
something
do.
Logan would do.
I
trash.
have never known him to not fuck me, so
Somebody clip that?
Out of context, that is fantastic.
I feel like I've definitely asked this question multiple times, and yet we'll never remember. In canon, prior to like us starting, what has Elowen already tried? Like what have you already have? What did you already get casted on you? Like, have you had Greater Restoration and Remove Curse done?
Yes.
To both?
Mhm. yeah, pretty
Both of
much.
those.
Yeah, pretty much all the clerical, at least common things would have been casted on you. So Remove Curse, Greater Restoration, at great cost, mind you, because that's probably the highest spell you'd encounter by getting lucky by finding somebody who is quite clericy.
Yeah.
Is that the highest that there is? Like, I'm not familiar enough with like high level cleric spells to know if there was anything else above that other than just like
I mean,
wish.
there's like heal, but
There's-
that's more
That's
for
true.
But you
Healing.
could
I
also
think just. is
we
that
could also
just-
try casting Remove Curse at like an exceptionally high level. Right? Like we could cast like a 9th level Remove Curse. It doesn't necessarily have to be wished. We could try that. I don't know.
Hmm.
If it's a
Okay.
curse,
Yeah.
it'll be removed probably. But the
Well-
idea, I guess, the issue it lies in the what happens the moment after the curse just immediately is gone. is right.
There
Yeah.
are a number of things I'm concerned about. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The thing with wish is like we can say we need this curse to be gone, and when it is gone, we need this to happen.
I'm not dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's like gonna be a bunch. Like, I think that's something we should do in our we should like have like another document. Let's just have so many documents, guys. And then no one looks
Figuring
at
out
them
how to
except for
word
me.
wish.
But yeah, I just like kind of like wish variations to try and like negate any potential like monkey paw situations. So it's like a fun puzzle, and I want to crack it. So
It's not really another spell that does what Remove Curse does at a higher level, so
It's
so
just
yeah,
the amount of
we'll
channeled power into it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like a higher powered greater restoration, same deal. Like we cast that at 9th level. We're gonna try everything.
Yeah.
Probably should try most things before we try wish.
Yeah, because I mean,
Probably
like,
good,
even if a spell doesn't have like an upcast effect, you could still technically cast spells at higher levels. Because, like, say you're missing a 3rd level
yeah,
spell slot
Exactly.
for Fly. Let's just pretend Fly doesn't have an upcast effect because I can't think of another 3rd level spell right now. You can use higher level spells anyway. You just don't kind of get the added benefit. But for the sake of story, yeah, for sure. If there was like, I want to cast a 5th level curse or remove curse, yeah, I'd be like, sure, maybe that is more powerful or something. But also, Anthony, you brought up from the dredges of history that there was a point where you thought about casting it on the idol that Elwyn has.
Yeah, we talked about it in another.
It was
After
an
party?
After party, yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think it ever came up in game after that.
No, we didn't.
No, I
Follow
keep
through on
meaning
it.
to talk to the group about this in
I
general. but
I
we'll get
think
there.
that is worth exploring.
it scares me though, because I'm like,
It's terrifying. Don't
I
get
would
me
you
wrong, but
write
it
it
is
down.
worth exploring.
yeah, because I just like don't know what effect it would have if it's like what you would want ultimately. It would just be such a shame to like make things even worse. So
Well, if the
You know, I was gonna say how could we, but we don't tempt those fates.
No,
Just-
don't say that.
no.
No, no, no. Please don't.
way I see it is, if it works, great. What comes after? If it
Yeah.
doesn't work, we learn something probably. Like, if we try to remove a curse on this cursed doll, and like something prevents us, then we learn something. But if it removes, then great. Then it's like coin flip. Does Elwyn stay young or immediately become like 300? And if Elwyn stays young, we go find a haunted house and let her, stay a
Oh,
while and
hey.
age up. But if
that's smart.
if
Good thinking. Go back to
if
the library.
she's old, I don't know how to make someone younger. So at least
Don't
within the
think such a
context
thing
of
exists.
Denny's world, but we've seen ghosts make people older before.
What's
So
the
that
opposite
is
of a ghost?
a living person.
Yeah, it's honestly the whole thing is such a problem. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, I don't even know what it is I'm even really trying to do.
I know what the opposite of a ghost is. It's a baby. You must sacrifice the babies. Steal their
Okay,
youth.
cool.
Elwyn becomes a
Let's
hag.
go.
No.
Oh, beautiful! What a beautiful
I like
story arc for her.
Yeah.
I like don't want to put it out there, but we kind of do have like a baby in our party that came out of nothing and thus maybe could return to nothing with a less like heavy weight on our shoulders.
Steal
That is fair.
Grober's
Talk about-
youth.
Talk about Grobo that way.
Just it's like
Just
I'm
throw it out
not
there.
saying it. I'm just like no, it's just letting it
Picturing-
be out there if we have no other alternative.
I'm just picturing the conversation, and it's like, Grobo, you understand that you must make this sacrifice for the greater good. And Grobo simply looks at you and goes,
Yeah.
That's what he'd do. He's thinking
Oh,
about
yeah.
it that way.
All of us just have like tears streaming
Yeah.
down our faces and it's like the most heroic like thumbs up. We're like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Who
like
knew?
Your style.
he thumbs up and then commits seppuku. Just takes a sword. Just.
Oh my god,
I
who
thought he was
knew
just
Grobo
like, you
was the
know,
real hero?
Dust in the wind.
Yeah.
I don't feel so good,
Mr.
Mr.
Mr. Stark.
Oh no, I didn't
Oh.
think of that. So, we got options. Is all I'm gonna say about
Options. Look at that.
that. Yeah.
Logan would kill all of us.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
yeah, well, I
already
guess
gonna
he
fuck
feels
me over,
more-
so I guess this is my pre-revenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna be
He
a-
feels more attached to Grobo than I do, so it's fine. But okay, we'll come back to
Grobo.
the Grobo thing when it comes up,
Yeah,
when it's
Grobo thing.
necessary.
He's in character. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like after of nothing, I'm just like, what if we sacrifice Grobo?
Yeah.
Whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah, come back to our next session as we're going into combat. Have you guys
That's
thought
how
about
I-
we sacrifice Grobo?
That's how I kill you, because I think you've been brain grabbed or something.
Oh. Yeah. Turns out I've actually been brain grabbed this entire time, but it was making me nicer. And without it, I'm a bad person.
Right.
The intellect
Ah.
devourer is good.
Yeah,
Good
it's like
alignment
a rogue intellect devourer or something. Now
That would
there's
make
a
for an interesting
That's,
story.
that is actually a fascinating idea for a
Yeah.
character.
yeah.
Like you were like the Alhoon version of an intellect devourer.
I
Like you
Yeah.
split
think-
off from the hive mind and then you took over a body and you're just trying to live.
Logan actually had this idea the night I came up on Friday for your birthday, Ryan.
Oh really?
He was like, we should do a campaign where everybody's intellect devoured. You guys have been sent on a quest, but you're all like converting.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and it's like a battle between the intellect devourer and the normal person. And then I was like, hey, this would be a great way to play, like to experiment with the game Everyone's John.
That's
where,
right.
Like, there's like a bunch of people inside one person's body, and like you take control of the body for a bit. Yeah, it was wild
Also
and
kind
wacky
of like
and
the
fun.
premise of Baldur's Gate 3, though, where you have a worm in your head and you're trying to get it out.
Yeah, we love
Is
those
that?
mind flare tadpoles.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
But you're already converted. You
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
are
so it's slightly
just
different.
intellect devourers.
I guess it's also kind of like the whole brain slug thing from a Starstruck Odyssey. So
Yeah, true.
okay, well
God,
we'll
I'm
think
excited
about
for
it.
that.
There are no new
Hell
stories,
yeah.
folks. I'm sorry. There's
Yeah.
nothing original.
What are you gonna do? Anyway, moving on from Elwyn's, I want to say drama, but that doesn't seem really fair. But
Elwyn's wishing.
drama to Drax's drama. Drax and Ingrid go to Fort Ale and meet with Boz, and it went great.
Kind of mid, if you ask me.
I have never seen
have gone
something
worse.
succeed so hard and yet fail so hard at the same time.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a real up and down situation.
Like
sure.
failing forward slash succeeding
Failing
backwards.
Just traveling sideways, crab walking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really crap walked.
Just
my
doing
way
this
over
the
that
whole
one.
time.
Um,
Bez, we need to talk.
Greeting you in the formal way of my home.
This is where I learned in Brubar.
Everyone does this when they talk about money. I don't understand why.
turns out the actual like real divisive conversation was because like you learned that's what you're supposed to do, and he didn't want to like make that switch to do that when you guys talk to each other. So
Yeah, well,
just like political differences.
again, he's just a big stubborn boy. So
Yeah. Yeah, this was an incredibly emotionally charged conversation. Did you have any expectations, you or Drac, going into it of what could or might happen? Like what seemed the most likely to you?
well, I didn't think Boz would just cut me out. So thanks for
Yeah.
that, Teni.
But you didn't have to
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
throw back to that classic song from
I also
2012.
like.
Absolute banger, by the way. Still slaps.
I absolutely listened to Abe's advice and then didn't follow it because he was like, just make this an initial meeting. You don't have to tell him everything. You don't have to overwhelm him. And then in classic Drac fashion, just as soon as there's a spark of something good, he's like, okay, now I can tell you everything because we're friends again, right? So his social naivety coming into play once again and stabbing him in the back, though not in a fun, playful, like haha way, in a very real, oh, your brother doesn't want you around anymore way, which is very sad.
Well, I think it's more heartbreaking more heartbreaking than that, because like Boz clearly wanted you around, but he feels like he can't have you around.
Yeah.
Like, Boz loves the shit out of Drac, and this is why this shit hurts me. Because it's like, God, like, these two are good brothers for each other, but Boz and Drac, like, this prophecy has just completely torn them asunder. And it's like, it's not something, like, at this point now, it's like, you can't be here because I don't want to kill you. Like, that, I don't want you dead. I want you to be happy and live a life and do all this shit. I got shit to do. I can't see you. And I'm just like, dude, this is fucking tragic.
It doesn't even matter if I had stone cold evidence for the prophecy being the other way around, because that would just, to Boz or even to like Drac, it would still be like, oh no, he's the rival, obviously.
Yeah,
it's always going to be we're the rivals to each other.
Yep.
I think I said this in the recap where I was like, this is actually real sus, the way that this whole thing came together, where it's like, oh, you just tell both of them the other will be the rival. You're like, oh, fascinating.
Yeah, you can't
Oh,
win.
I made a mistake. Did you, Huyan? Tell me more.
I also wonder, like, obviously the prophecy is really the main thing that's like causing this wedge between you two, but I almost wonder if there's an alternate version of this where like the prophecy doesn't even exist, but there's still like that tension, because I feel like my read on Boz is that he'll always be very have like a very like one way of thinking, and like whereas I think Drax entered the world and been like a lot more like receptive to the different things that he's encountered and learned. Like I think like I can't really say the same for Oz, and I wonder if like there would have always been like a clashing of personality once you remove the two of you from like the village.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true.
Yeah, I mean it's a matter of Boz is a stone and Drac is like rain. You know, like Boz is he's lawful. Like he's got a set of values and he lives by that code. If he has to break that code, that changes everything. He isn't what he has been living a lie. And to shatter his world like that would mean he would have to start completely over. Whereas Drac is a lot more flexible, a lot more open-minded, a lot more go with the flow. And it just immediately creates that is a conflict.
Well, it's also fascinating too with the whole religion of Darokarth being about balance. Like Drac is balance, but Boz is completely down one path, like so firmly down law. It is imbalance. It's so cool, and it's kind of like a neat little, I guess, bird's eye view, being like, I know which one the rival is, just because looking at these two from the completely external standpoint, it's like, oh fuck, like, oh, that's bad news.
And like from Drac's standpoint, he's seeing Boz like going down this path with just blinders on, and he's worried about how long it will take Boz to realize that he's too deep in it before it's too late.
Yeah.
So
Really interesting to like continue to explore this further, because it's just like very cool dynamic, and to think about, you know, there's kind of like the thing to like, if you weren't related to your family, would you still be friends with them, you know? So it's kind of like that of like, if you didn't already have this connection, like would there be one at all? But because it is there, it makes everything so much worse, you know, like so much more tense. So I'm gonna be curious to see how it continues to play out. And I also want to know, like,
love everything about Drac's arc right now. It's dope.
it's fascinating. How is Drac handling this request that Boz made to stay out of each other's way, and does he actually plan to honor it going forward, or is there another
gonna be one of those things. Like right now, Drac is like trying to distract himself with other things. So like honestly, the
Good
murder
thing.
of Philip Rowe is
Good thing we have things that are distracting.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The murder of Philip Rowe is actually helping him in a way because he can just like turn his mind 100% to this murder mystery and try to figure it out. But I think in the long run, he's not going to sacrifice what the group is doing to go out of his way to try to find Boz. But I have a feeling that we're going to run into Boz again.
Oh, yeah.
And if we do, Drac isn't going to just let him go. He's going to keep trying. He told Boz when he left, he's not going to give up. And he will keep that promise.
To speak to the stone and rain thing, you'll wear him down eventually. Because that's how that works. So,
Science, baby.
Erosion.
you have to listen to my way of thinking. It's just science. Wow, imagine if that actually worked on people. Whoa.
Nell licks Boz. Boz is science.
Ah! Oh, man.
He does have acid breath, so maybe you don't lick him.
Alrighty.
Together, Boz and Drac are a battery.
Whoa.
Acid and lightning! Oh, wow, I didn't even think of that.
That's cool.
The power of them together is so strong.
Yeah.
They're literally a battery. That's
Stick
awesome.
us on the train and we'll just make it go.
Oh,
Doesn't
God.
seem like it would necessarily like work really well currently, but
We'll figure it out.
Is that an electricity joke?
Oh,
Currently?
it definitely was on purpose. I'm just that smart and witty. Thank you.
I know that that's a joke that they're a battery, but that's unironically, poetically fucking awesome.
That is really
like
cool.
that is so cool.
Yeah.
Polar opposites.
Yeah, they're opposites, but they work together, and it's like, oh, the bomb.
Opposites
best.
attract.
What is it? Having like a foil to your character?
Mm.
I love a good foil. So, all right, the
Did a
good
great
times
job with
keep
Baz,
on
Teni.
rolling. We receive a letter from Philip Rowe that his hawk is missing. Wah. I don't have a soundboard, so I'll make them myself. Yeah, we find the bird with frickin' Ria's familiar, and that hawk should have kept its fucking mouth shut. And, that's all I have to say about that.
That
That's a
hawk
big snake.
destroyed my world.
Yeah, really fucked some shit up, this hawk. And I love hawks, so
But I saw right through your little game plan, Teni.
Did you clock it immediately to be like, bird bad?
No, I was just thinking like, oh, why would his hawk run away? He
Yeah.
went to Balesville.
Well, it's also like every scene that Hillip has been in, so has his hawk. Like
Yeah.
every scene. Those
To
are
have
very
them
well,
separated.
Yeah.
very nicely established. Chekhov's gun, or
Chekhov's hawk.
or when I'm waiting for the bus and it doesn't show Chekhov's bus,
Yep.
it's gonna be there eventually.
As
It's
soon
gonna
as you
have to
walk
come.
away, it shows up.
Yeah, that's right. There's a
Yep.
bus stop.
Didn't
There will
we-
be a bus here.
We've
have had this
exact
We've
conversation.
had this conversation before where like you use the exact same example and we were all like, no, that's not Chekhov, the bus waiting thing. That's something else and I can't remember what it is now.
Chekhov's
that's Godot.
refrigerator from Tremors.
It's Godot, but I think there's something else too. Because Chekhov is like putting something down in a way that like makes it like want to become relevant again, but like waiting for something else. Okay, it doesn't matter. Let's not. We'll have to talk about it together.
It's a
Blah, blah, blah. Cool. Yeah, the hawk tells us Hillip's wrong. He came back from Balesville different. So of course he did.
It's a real jabroni now.
Yeah. Which great. So Rhea and Drac go to Armadon Ferric and let him know what's up. And they ask him to keep an eye on Hillip, which he kind of did a fail upward in that regard.
He was like, I bet.
Yeah, it's like, oh,
Dynamo.
I'll keep an eye. And then you stabbed him. Um,
I'll watch him, all right. Watch him die.
yeah. Oh Lord. This scene actually surprised me when you guys went to talk to Ferric, because like, again, we have been really cagey about who we like give full information to, and like it was just like previous episode I think where we were talking about how like, oh, the learned circle, they don't know what's going on. I'm like, because we haven't told them anything, so we need to tell them stuff, and everyone's like, I don't know. But then you guys just went and you just told Ferric like not everything, but like more stuff that I thought you were going to, and I'm like, oh. Okay. So was that just because it felt like there was no other way to convince him, or?
Yeah, I felt like we had to lay out some pretty concrete info just to even get him to take us somewhat seriously. Because if you walk into the, general of an army's office and say, hey, we think this guy's bad because his bird told us so, he might raise an eyebrow.
Let me tell you something. This guy, he's got a brain thing living inside of his brain cage, all right? That's what's happening. Figure it out.
Right.
You know what? A bird told me that.
Yeah. So
Smartest guy I ever met.
also when Drac gets a good read on someone, when he thinks he can trust someone, he will trust them. So
True.
and he will share pretty openly.
Okay, I guess that makes sense. It's hard when like other people are doing stuff and you're not there and you're like,
Yeah.
Kind of easier if we just tell people what we think, though, right? Makes our lives a little bit more simple.
all right, we'll get into this.
Policy.
Yeah.
We'll
You
get
can-
into this in the next episode, because that was something that I really was
Yeah.
struggling with in the next episode. So
You can only have allies if you choose to accept allies.
Correct.
whoa. That's crazy. Really makes me think.
Imagine, if you will, running an intellect devour plot and asking your players to trust anyone.
Exactly.
You guys
We
didn't
can't
trust
listen
me
to that
before the
guy.
plot, so
Yeah,
it didn't
well,
matter. Threw it all to the wind. Let's fucking go. The world's hell. Congratulations,
Yeah.
you were never on the material plane.
Wow.
Woof.
All right.
Woof.
I mean, it
That
is
escalated quickly.
funny to me because like knowing like what you were planning, and presumably have been planning for a while in this campaign. Of course, you won't confirm or deny. But like even like the day or two before like the next episode, you and I were texting, and you were like, "No one trusts me anymore," and I'm like,
Then why would you say
Yeah. "Yeah,
He tries to make us feel sorry for him. It's fine. I
doesn't
understand
work."
what's going on.
Don't feed into his lies. Get
That's
in the
fine.
comments.
I live the life of solitude. I
Get
am
in the
Batman.
comments!
Get in the comments. Yeah. Anyway, so
I keep everyone at a distance because that's the life I live.
yeah.
All right, Batman, let's get you to bed.
Yeah. Fight me, Alfred.
So anyway, this, things were about to really just go to shit, but hey, got my date in. That's all that happened after this, I believe. So
I think we nailed it, to be honest.
Oh, it was so
The-
nice.
the date?
Yeah.
Hell
The whole
yeah.
crew, everybody
How fun was
affiliated
it?
with like setting it up, nailed it.
Yeah.
You nailed
You
it.
asking me how fun it was, or how fun
Yeah,
was
how
it for Danny to be taken on a date by me?
As
my
your partner,
gosh.
either.
Great. I had a blast. I was planning that baby for like 3 weeks.
Fair enough.
Dallas knows. I literally was like at your house being like, okay, what's the plan? Like, but then I realized like how funny it was, because I'm like, I really was like, yeah, this makes sense. Like, let's hit all these big things. And then during it, I'm like, I guess this is like a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah, you really front loaded that relationship there. Kind of blew your load in the first half.
Ew, that's nasty.
Happens to everybody. Premature.
Yeah, I do think it's really funny though, like in retrospect, like in character, because that is exactly like what, like, oh, obviously Nell did it, but it was exactly like how that would have gone every single time. Just being like, I don't know what I'm doing, I'll do everything. And then I just can really picture it in like years from now being a really funny like thing in their relationship, just being like, she keeps trying to one up herself and isn't able to. So, yeah. Yeah, that was the second most selfish thing I've made you guys. sit through on my behalf. The first was my
Oh,
birthday.
it was fun.
Oh, no worries. I had a
Yeah,
blast
it's
on
cute.
both.
Oh,
Yeah.
I also had a good time.
Great. Did you like my maneuver of not telling you where I was having it so you couldn't tell me? Like, the tower wouldn't really be used for that.
Also, I would have totally been on board for it, but also I was kind of glad that you didn't tell me about it because I actually felt like I got a surprise out of this.
Fuck yeah. Mission accomplished. Yeah, that was like immediate because I didn't know like what episode this was gonna be happening in, and so I think like there was a chance could have been the previous ep, and I was kind of on the fly. Like I didn't take good notes during that episode because I was already prepping. I was like, okay, if it happens this episode, like what do I have to be ready for? And so I was just literally looking at the keep map, being like, which of these feels like it would be kind of romantic? Well, like the dining hall, no, not good enough. So yeah, that was really fun. And now everything is awful. Oh yeah, and shout out to freaking Jonimus for making me roll wild magic. Was it Jonimus? I think.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was. Actually, I did have a
Good use.
question about that. Have you since thought what it was that was said that that ended up getting written in the sky?
Not at all.
Nice.
The crazy thing is, I thought about so many other things that I've been like, future ideas. That one, you told me it doesn't matter anymore, and my brain said, okay.
All right,
I was like,
I can come up with what it was then.
means something
you're gonna
romantic.
come up with it? I don't know about that. It's out of my mouth, so I should really think about it.
Well then,
Fine, I'll put thought into it.
nice. I just thought it was great that you were like, I don't know, something romantic. I was like, oh, wow,
Yeah.
wonderful.
So now I have to think. I'm like, I don't think she's very smooth, So like, I'm not entirely sure like what off the cuff would have been like that good, But I'll think about it.
Sounds good.
It probably was like a bit stumbling. Just in the clouds, like, I had a great time. Oh Lord.
The moonlight on your eyes or something.
You have eyes, and I think that eyes are good to have, and yours are especially solid.
You have special eyes.
My brand.
Why is the sky writing about eyes?
It would be one of those things that like there's a world in which it is like a very like actually like romantic like nice thing, and it's like kind of embarrassing, but then there's like a world where it's just like fucking gibberish. And it's like, what does that even mean? Oh well.
Eyes love me.
Eyes. But,
There's a
Yeah.
lot of phonetic ums.
Yeah.
yeah.
Love that you have eyes.
I wish I had eyes. I mean, what?
I mean, I do, but
But hey, it worked out somehow.
It all worked out.
It was charming.
Until it
so
didn't.
Ooh, great. Okay, well, enough of good times. Philip Rose dead. That's how we end that
Wonderful
episode.
night at the theater ended with murder.
there's been a
Yeah.
murder.
I like understood obviously that there needs to be like a real plot or whatever. We're not doing a Regency era thing. I wish. But wow, that really like swept the rug up from underneath me. I'm like, oh great, like because I was I'm in character thinking like, oh, I have to go process this now. Like I can't wait to get home and like write my journal or whatever. And it was like, no, you're not allowed.
Absolutely not.
I was like, I actually don't really want to deal with a murder plot right now. Can I have one night, please? World.
You got it.
I
We
gave you a
start
month,
dealing with the
actually.
murder plot until the next day.
Well, I wanted just to not have to be like, this beautiful thing. Also, tomorrow is murder. So
Happy death day.
Time for murder. Oh, look at that.
it's not as like, just kind of nice ending as I was wanting. But, you got to drive the plot. So I get it.
So leading up to the end of this episode, I mean, Drac and Gideon had a conversation where Drac was like, Gideon, keep positive. And Gideon's like, no, Philip's bad. Like, were you expecting this to go this bad?
No.
Never in a billion years.
I figured they were just gonna kill him if he went to Balesville. I didn't think they were gonna hijack his body
Yeah.
and set up essentially a coup. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of what they're aiming for.
Well, perhaps
Yeah, I
should we
guess, like-
talk about this in the next one?
Yeah, we could do that. I think I will do a break though, because I feel like it and it's my show. So, hey everyone, thanks so much for hanging out with us while we talked about the really wonderful tidings of this past episode, something romantic. We'll be back in 5 minutes to talk about the next episode where things are decidedly less romantic and good. So we will see you there. And hey, YouTubers, this is the end of the episode, but don't worry.
We're not
You're
catching
way
any
too
of that.
quiet.
It doesn't matter. Just click the next episode, YouTube. All right. We will see you in a bit.
Bye.
Bye.